Well, Delaware. Today we're gonna look at this tiny state, as you can see here on the map. It's not that big, but opening to the ocean. Pretty interesting position, I would say. So yeah, this is the main event, let's say. We're gonna look how those people actually, but let's start with some data. Flag, kind of interesting. I never see a background like that, but yeah, the seal, let's say, pretty much this one, pretty common, I would say, in this part. What else can we find here? I'm interested in population. Let's check with the population. Elevation, what is like 20 meters the average, and highest elevation around 447, I think. They kind of fucked up these numbers, but fine. Population, 1 million people, and they have some sort of a neutral increase, so not that much increases. 45 states by population, so you can see pretty low. Median house income, $81,000 in 2023. That's interesting. And income rank 15. Okay. Not exactly interesting. And those numbers are kind of, I don't know, they try to make it look bigger or something like that. So doesn't tell me. I will be more happy with the minimum wage, net and gross, and those numbers not exactly, and the medium and minimum. Those are much better for individual. This median household doesn't tell that much. If you want to take that number, fine, but not that for me. Official language, none. Wow, what do you mean you have no official language? It's supposed to be English. What the fuck? Lowest elevation 0 meters. Yeah, it's a coast state. What else can we see here? Well, I think the Dover is the capital, if I'm not mistaken. So that capital is Dover. It's pretty good. We have some images here. Now in these states, it's a bit lower than the one we checked until now. So we don't see that much fall images. So I guess here doesn't go on that. But keep in mind, 1 million people. I'm assuming you're gonna check Dover immediately for a second. Most of them, they living there. So yeah. From what I understand, they're pretty rich here, so not exactly I'm gonna see low income areas. Wow, look at this. This what is license plate? The first state. Delaware license plate 00. It's like 01, not a 00, but fine. This is the highway. Classic Americans. Both ways they are separated. You can see by a green strip. Don't have that in Europe, at least not that often, but in America it's pretty common from what I can see. Probably, no, actually it's a standard. Yeah, Joe Biden is from Delaware, I think. Democratic, yeah, 41%. Republicans, 25%. Oof, they don't do that well here. So clearly a democratic state. They have a race, a nice NASCAR race, Dover Motor Speed. So they like that. Do you want to see the Dover? Let me check the population in Dover. Probably like 500,000, something like that. I don't know. Oh no, population, state capital. 40,000 people around that low? Wow, I thought it's gonna be like most of the population living here, so. Okay, let's check them anyway. Where exactly is Dover? In case you wanna see exactly the location. Dover, right here. Yeah, you can see by the airport. Okay, so we're gonna check that at some point. I wanna start in the up north here because it's pretty close to the main city here. So I wanna check how well they doing here. Wow, look at this, America. Clearly very well informed, let's say, and they try to inform us very well how life is there, so I can just thank you for that. This is 2020 October, so just the pandemic hits, I guess, and they have the Halloween here. I don't know why, but most of those street views there is kind of in a Halloween period, if you noticed. I think those are the Eagles, which is some sort of a football team. Yeah, usually they go, I don't know, maybe Google, the street Google cards, like they actually have some sort of a schedule that they go in the fall most of the time. And this is Biden 2020, and I see Trump here 2020. Okay, so we have like 2 different opinions in the same street with 2 different neighbors. Yeah, it's something, I guess. I mean, like this guy is Biden and this guy it's a Trump fan. So I guess they're still. Even they have like different opinion in a politics, so I guess they understand them pretty well each other. So I don't think they go like killing each other or something like that. We have some sort of a Ukraine crap going on here, which, yeah, I think it's Ukraine. I don't know. Oh, look at those front lawns, how nice they are. I mean, And again, we're going randomly on the map, and we're already seeing pretty good high income, I would say, area, but not exactly for the Americans high income. Probably it's like a medium income for the average Joe there, but for the Europeans, it's a very high income area with something like, I don't think we're gonna see something like that again in Europe. So far, they're doing pretty well. I mean, in this neighborhood, I can check every street and it's gonna be pretty much the same story. Let's check this one. More trees. So you're supposed to be like even more rich here. So yeah, they are even more rich. Although the house, as you can see here, are pretty, I want to say mediocre. It's pretty average. Let's call it like that, which is nice. Not something bad to say about its average house, but the land, it's high end, I would call it. Yeah. I mean, look at this. Living like this. This is what, 2019? September, just a few months before pandemic hits, was there. So yeah, the last moments of freedom, I would say, or at least the illusion of freedom that we used to live. What else we have here? Now the houses are very nice in my opinion, just looking pretty good. But again, on the old side, let's continue. It's a classic American. Clearly, look at it, like a colonial style, I would say. Look at this one, and they look very nice. It's just not exactly the modern one, you know. Just not to punch down on them or something like that. It's just it's a different style. It's not good or bad, just a different style. They have sewage here. Wow, that's pretty nice how they have it. In Europe, they have like something in the middle and just always goes down. They sink in the road, and they have to come and fix it every, I don't know, every year at least. And it's kind of a nonsense. It's a lot of money that wasted on those things, and you're always gonna have like potholes around them. So yeah, I think the American way it's a bit better. Even those ditches here very low. Just for the water to go. In Europe, you're gonna see like at least 10 to 15 times bigger than that. And if you have actually don't pay attention on the road and you can fall with a car in one of those, you can pretty much fuck up your car pretty well. So yeah, wow, that's a really nice car. I mean, like I like those. See, that's a garage, I would say. You have something that covers your car. Doesn't get a bit better than this one, I would say. So you don't actually. The sun don't touch the car, the hailstorm don't touch it, the rain, the snow, and you're pretty good. You don't have to have like a heating garage or something like that. It's a waste of space and money in my opinion. So yeah, clearly this is a very rich area in my opinion. And you can see even here, you can have like, look at these guys with pools here. They're doing well. They're doing well. I mean, that's the American style, the classic American style that like everybody wants to live in a way. The suburbia that they have, the modern one, not exactly that appealing. But look at this one, a lot of trees, a lot of vegetation. That's how it's supposed to be. This one, I don't think anyone's complaining about this one. The only small complaint that you might have, it's kind of a car dependent, but I would choose to live in something like that with let's say in the future, electric cars, no pollution, no noise, and don't drive more than I don't know, to grocery stores, to a mall, to your job, more than 10 miles a day. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Ideally 5 miles one way and 5 miles, so you can 10 miles in one day. But I would say even 20 miles, 10 miles to go, 10 miles to go back. It's pretty good, yeah. Overall, here in this really rich neighborhood, I would say this is like a high income area from the European perspective again. Yeah, they have a house, they have the land, they have good roads, they have space between the neighbors, and they're looking absolutely great. I mean, it's like a fairy tale here, for God's sake. Yeah, it's looking great here. So far, Delaware is not that big, but they looking pretty well. They're looking pretty well here. Oh, look at this. They have a circle line in the state. Wow. You don't see that very often. Usually American goes for a straight line, but this one, they go for the arch, which it is something. Let's check those people here, how they live. Although they're looking pretty nice from above, and from the ground level, it's looking even better. Yeah, that's the American way. Again, it's gonna be interesting to see where those low-income areas live. Probably like in a city, which is kind of strange. But yeah, overall here they're doing very, very well, I have to say. It's just there's nothing that I can say bad about anything that's happening here. This is like a gated community or something like that, which you already see they live in like a much more cramped space, which I don't like it. So this is the modern one, I would say, that they try to push right now. But the old, good old style one, like this one. Yeah. Even though that the houses are a bit closer, then vegetation is not that dense, still looking pretty good. They're looking pretty good, I have to say. Nice colonial houses, open spaces, colors. I mean, this is what, 2023 October? Again, October, for God's sake. Okay, now we are in the summer in 2012. Now back in fall. They're doing pretty well. A lot of constructions happening here, so yeah. Cars on the neighborhood, it's like, yeah, it's fine. It's like actually one of the best cars you can buy for the money right now. They're doing well. They're doing well here. Let me check, you know, that arch. Again, that arch. Let me see this one. This is like a classical new suburbia neighborhood, and they have a parking for the cars, which is good. They don't have that much trees, as you can see, so clearly a much lower income than we see so far, but not by much. And the only way I can see fixing this, again, with more trees, because everything else looks pretty decent. They just don't have the trees. Look at this. That's the main difference. And yeah, they are a bit more cramped. The neighbors are much closer than them. We have the Italians, Italiano vero, Italiano in America, American Italiana. But yeah, more trees should fix most of the problem, not the main problem. Wow, we have like a closed street here? What the fuck? Why they close the street like that here? Maybe somebody lands, I don't know. Looking pretty strange. Just end like that, bam. This is the highway, I assuming, or at least the main road. Let's check. Yes, the main road, not the highway, but they're looking pretty nice. I mean, those huge parking lots in American way. And look at the bus station, very well maintained. I mean, we look at that in third world countries, and it was like, not that great. Even in Europe, in some countries, we're like, could be better. But here in the United States, they're looking pretty well. So I guess they're taking care of very well for those bus station. I guess they cost a lot of money to maintain and build in the first place. So they try to go down with the cost like that. They have a nice road here, which is for the bicycles. Yeah, it was too narrow for the cars, but they're looking nice from those places. Across the river, it's a different state. I don't remember which one is here, but as an even probably like New Jersey, I think, or you know, something like that. Yeah, the main area there, they're doing pretty well. They're doing pretty well. Let's check this Dover one. Let's see how they live here. Surprise, I thought it's like more people, like 500,000 people are supposed to live here, in my opinion. But it's like, yeah, but no, it's like 40,000 people living here, judging by the data. So yeah, pretty interesting. Wow, this is like much more European, I would say, than American. Like very narrow, it's more like a Scandinavian style, which is like a narrow street with houses on the left and on the right. Not so appealing, I would say, but again, low income areas for sure. But it's in a capital, for God's sake. So that's why it's interesting about the Americans. In Europe, if you live in a capital, you supposedly you live in the most richest city, town in the country. In America, that doesn't apply. I never understand. I mean, I get it, it's cheaper, but people living in those containers, in my opinion, it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. They should have like a regular home, not something like half home or something like that. It just doesn't make sense to me, but yeah, it is what it is. In the city here, let's check them. Yeah, much, probably again, much more expensive houses, much more crowded, much less land. It's just not exactly that appealing with what we saw earlier. But probably they make more money because everything is more expensive, I assuming. So again, the main problem that we have in the Western world, it is the job market right now. Wow, what the fuck is going on in here? I mean, like, this guy is working or something, so I get it. But look at this windows. And we have those guys with a BMW and a Dodge Challenger, I think it is, or Charger. And those guys just smoking here, I'm assuming. Yeah, pretty bad, pretty bad. It's a low neighborhood, probably. It's a low income neighborhood, so let's check them anyway. But it's still looking pretty good. Overall, they're doing pretty well. Yeah, I mean, look at those cars, classic ones. They have a parking space for those who don't keep them in the street. That's pretty good. Good for them. They doing well. They doing well. FedEx car is here. They doing well. Where else can we find it? Oh, let's check this one. Yeah, a bit better here. I'm just much more space. Let me go for 2023. Oh yeah, much better now. Oh yeah, they're living better, way better. I mean, look at this, how wide the street it is. They have parking spaces here. Not that much length in the front as the other that we see, but at least they have a parking space, so I don't have to keep the car on the street. That's a nice S-Class, a classic one. Wow, that's a really good one to see it. Not sure exactly what is the condition that they keep it, but they're looking pretty good. This basketball basket, I think they call it, I don't know. Seen better days. That's a nice old truck, but again, with extended cabin, which we talk about that in other videos, so not exactly a big fan of that. We see someone here. I mean, overall, they're doing pretty well. Which is strange for me because the Americans, they keep going for this infinite growth in a housing market, for example, and that's why they make it so expensive. But they already have like good houses. It's not like Europeans that they live in apartments and small ones and they constantly want to upgrade it. Here in the United States, they're doing pretty well from the start. I mean, like, go to Europe and see how we live, and then we're gonna see which one is better. I mean, those ones are nice too. For Americans, probably like it's the medium-sized house, something like that. Not for European, would be like an absolutely castle, be absolutely huge. But yeah, I mean, when you live in a place like that, you need some more trees. But let's take this house for example. I mean, like, I don't think you can update it more than this one. Yeah, you can have some renovation inside, but that's it. I don't think you can do much more than that. In life overall, it's just you're already doing a very, very good one. I mean, you don't need to update anything from that. But it feels like in America is this constant keep up with the Johnson or something like that they call it, when they constantly want more and more and more. It's just kind of they ruin their life in the same time, which is kind of strange behavior that might need to be studied even more. Because most of them, they already have a really good one, a really good house. Yes, some of them, they need some improvements. Fine, I don't have a problem with that. But let's take this one, for example, which is a bit more crowded than the other one that we saw. But even here, they're doing very, very well. I mean, look at this house. I can imagine this house on the outside looking much better than this. On the inside, yeah, you can make it absolutely luxury. So you're done. You already have like a good house. The problem is like the new generations, for some reason, they have to pay a huge amount of money for pretty much nothing. That's the problem. But I think they can be easily fixed, and they're gonna fix it pretty soon. We already see that. It's just we have to probably like there are a few people that have a lot of investment in those properties. I don't know, funds, investment funds, something like that, and they looking for get rid of them. You're gonna see that at some point, but you can just pretty much flooded the market with the housing. The price is going to go down very, very fast. So they're trying to slowly release everything that they have in a housing market, in a real estate market. So they probably assume that the price is going to go insanely low at some point. And especially you do that after you stop migration and you deport pretty much all of them, the illegals. And even those illegals that they came from, you just have to put an end to migration at some point. At least this, I mean, like Americans get like 1 million or something, 1.5 million people legally, at least. God knows how many illegals. So even that legally, it's insane amount of people. It's just, can you imagine building 1.5 million houses? More, not exactly 1.5, let's say a million houses every year. That's a huge, huge task. So I assuming once they keep that at least for the first year, like at least under 1 million legal migration and 0 illegal migration, which 0 is not going to be absolutely insane. Probably going to have like 100,000, something like that, that goes for the legal migration. So if they can keep overall under 1 million, it's a good start. But ideally for the Americans, they should keep them much, much lower than that. And probably we should see stagnation in population and actually going down very, very soon in population. So we can see actually a lower price on the housing market and just end this nonsense with with the disaster that they have, even in the West or even in Europe with the housing market. And then you're gonna see houses like extremely cheap. Probably when they have some sort of those kit houses that just you can assemble the house like in a week or something like that, and you're good to go. The land is gonna be cheap, so probably an overall house with everything that you want, not something like that, something like much more luxury. It will cost you less than $100,000, all everything included, labor, transportation, permits, whatever they have there. So that is when you fix the housing market. And at some point, people should not care about housing market, should not see housing as an investment, in my opinion. And once they do that, yeah, then we can talk about a real change. So the housing would be like, yeah, everyone has one of those. It's like a human right or something like that, you know. Just so obviously it's not even worth debating or discussing. It's a house. Yeah, everyone has one. It's a nice house, not a bad one, like a shitty one. You're at that level that I just talked about. Like, yeah, you don't need more than that. You're not gonna see your life improve more than that. So yeah, a house like this, again, $100,000 should be pretty easy in the future. Like really easy. This is what, 2012, so quite a while back. But yeah, housing like this, which are really nice ones. Maybe a better design, but overall, yeah. I mean, like $100,000 probably gonna be like the. You can make that in a year, maybe 2 years at the worst, and you can actually by the age of 25, you should be like, I have house, a really nice one, maybe a second one for the vacation. I have cars, motorcycles, banking accounts with actually money in them, investments and all that. So you could be pretty well settled. By the age of 30, you're not gonna have any worries whatsoever. So yeah, overall they're doing pretty well, even here in Delaware, I have to say. It's just I didn't expect to see like that many high income, let's say, neighborhoods, but overall, wherever you go, yeah, we have some exceptions like that one. We just go to the Dover, pretty much close to the Dover. But overall, they're doing very well here. And look at this, nice houses. Yeah, there's have cars on the street, but there's a sufficient wide lane to actually navigate to them, so it's pretty good. Those who have a space, yeah, good for them. They keep it actually inside, which is a much better parking spot. What car was that? That was a Lotus. And this guy is pretty fan of that. Look at this. He likes the car. That's a nice lot. Look how small they are. Wow. And a 6 Series. Wow. They're doing pretty well here. I mean, that guy, look at him. He's just taking pictures. And look at that guy. You just love it. Yeah. Maybe he's the owner. I don't know. But it's not very often that you're going to see a Lotus. So yeah, I guess worth taking pictures. Here they have a nice opening to the beach, which is like very nice house to have there, that close to the beach, and the beach is pretty nice. Yeah, front properties. I'm not sure exactly what's happening in the hurricane here, but I think like they kind of stand together, those houses. I guess they're doing pretty well. Not sure exactly about the prices here, but yeah. Oh, look at this guy. Look how many trees they have. Look, that's nice. See, this one not so much, but this one, he gets it. I mean, that's nice. Really good for them. What else can we see? I mean, like, yeah, overall, wherever we go, it's like, it's great. It's nice place to live. Look at this nice terrace there. Not that much space to pull your car, but that could be fixed. I mean, they have it at some point, you know, they have it just to keep it on the street, which is kind of sad, but it is what it is. Pickup truck. I'm not sure exactly if they need one in Delaware, but yes, it's more of the culture than actually a necessity. Yeah, overall, they're doing very well. They're doing very well. Look at this highway here close to the ocean. Yeah, very nice. No potholes, no nothing. They're doing well. I'm not sure exactly why they say the infrastructure is crumbling, but so far they're doing pretty well to me. Yeah, it could be some areas that they're doing pretty fucked up, but overall, it's pretty decent. Wow, have those boats one. I mean, yeah, they can have a lot of good things in America here. I don't like those container houses, but they have some really expensive car and close to the marina, I guess, so I don't know. Even those guys, they're doing very well. Or just, I don't know, prioritize cars and fun over the house, which is kind of strange way to do it, but fine at the same time. Live close to the ocean, so I guess they like that life. Let's check those guys here. The same. Oh, they have the golf cars. That's nice. Those are really nice to have. They have a ski jet here, a jet ski. That's a nice boat. Jet skiers again. They're doing pretty well, but although when you look at the house, you can see not so well, but they have a Lincoln, and I mean, come on, they're doing well with the money here. Although, like I say, the house doesn't reflect that. Strange to me, but it is what it is. Those guys, they're doing much better. I mean, could have a tennis court, they have a pool. I think they're like the local amenities. Everyone can use it, which is pretty nice. But again, no, they have the same container houses. I mean, like, yeah, it's kind of interesting now when you see it. Like, they have a lot of good things, even in those small ones. It's not very American to me, in my opinion. It's just, yeah, it's not exactly worth it. Living in a great country and living like that doesn't make sense. Here they have a new neighborhood build, and the same problem like I said. The houses are pretty nice architecture, I have to say. Wow, that's absolutely huge one. They need more trees. If they have more trees, then yeah, we can say that it's a decent bit too close here. That's more likely. It's a decent blueprint, I would say. This one, it's way too close. Not even close. No, this one is not acceptable. But some areas they're doing a bit better. This one is like an apartment, for God's sake. They are close. I mean, look at this. If you want to get those gets fired, like every single one of them gets fired. Catch fires. No. But most of them, yeah. Like I say, those new type of building things, not exactly a big fan of those. Just doesn't look that appealing. This one, at least they have more land, as you can see. But again, those container houses, not a fan of those. So close to the marina, close to the ocean, it's a different architecture. Let's call it like that for most of the people. But I'm assuming if you're just going a bit more in depth, we are gonna see more rich neighborhoods. Let's check this one. They have a lot of land, but doesn't seem to be more rich. But they're doing okay. This is what, 2014? No, they're doing okay. I don't worry about them. What else can we find here in Delaware? Wow, it's pretty small state. Kind of check almost everything. Let's go on the other side, not close to the marina. Let's see how those people live. Okay, now we're talking. This is a low-income area for sure. Let's check those guys. And this is what, 2024, so very recently. We have some sort of an abandoned house. I mean, like, I don't think somebody lives in this one. But they have a Camaro. I mean, probably these guys have a Camaro. Yeah, clearly a low-income area. 100%. Kind of a strange house to have there. Look at those bumpers. Wow. Yeah, peace, brother, peace. Wow. We have a barbecue there. I'm not sure if I put that on there, but we have a guy here that's checking the street. Yeah, it's a rough area for the Americans. For the Europeans, it's like around the middle income area, something like that. The gas prices. What are the gas prices back in August 2024? Regular $3.30. I think like Delaware, and it's like California or something. When they have any democratic states, they have expensive gas and expensive. They tax everything. So, yeah, I think that's a bit more expensive than the Republican state, on average. But yeah, this one doesn't look so great, I have to say. It's a low income town, even, for God's sake, most of the time. But there are some good areas. I mean, some decent one, for sure. Let's check those guys. A bit more container house, I would say, but overall they're doing pretty well. I think a lot of Americans just prioritize cars above their house, which is kind of weird for the European perspective, but I guess it is what it is. Oh, we have the new construction that they're trying to jam as many people as they can in the smaller place as they can. So not a big fan of those. Seems to That's pretty much European. I mean, like, that's kind of the distance in a new neighborhood in a European, American style European neighborhood, something like that. So, not a fan. This one, they way too close to each other. It's a fire hazard, for God's sake. So no, I am not a big fan of those new ones. That's why they have such a bad reputation. But the old ones, they say something like this one, it's much better. I mean, look at this. They have a nice houses and a much more space between them. And those guys, they're like a red car. Much better. That's supposed to be like a minimum. That right there is supposed to be a minimum how they are allowed to build, because it doesn't serve anyone. Yeah, you can have a house, I get it, but with time it's not gonna be that appealing in my opinion. It's just way too close to each other, not that many trees, not that many vegetation. It's just it's gonna wear out fast. That I can say for sure. It's gonna wear out fast. And the same with this one. See, they're trying to jam as much as they can. Even here there are a lot of jamming, but that's probably like, I don't know, a bit older neighborhood build, not that new. But even here it feels a bit more open, just a bit, not by much. And probably because of the small street, it just feels like that. And now this is closer to the ocean, so I get it. It's like scarcity in the land, but still, it's a lot of. I mean, like 380 million people in US, something like that, and pretty soon they're gonna be 400 million. Probably at some point at the highest peak they're gonna go for 500 million people. I'm not sure about that 500 million if they're gonna take it, but also in the same time, God knows how many illegals they have there, so not sure exactly why they allow it for such a long time. It's insane, but now somebody has to fix the mess, and it's not gonna be pretty. That's why you see it right now in the United States. Somebody has to fix it, and he's gonna take a lot of heat from that, whoever tried to fix it. But overall it's gonna be pretty good. Wow, Mercedes, stop buying those cars, for God's sake. They're just money pits. We in Europe, we make them and sell them outside the Europe pretty much, just to drag some money in. They're not that luxury anymore. Reliability, it's out of the window starting for 2000 and until today. Uber expensive to buy, uber expensive to drive, uber expensive to fix. A lot of depreciation. Just stop buying them. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever at any level. The regular car, even a Hyundai and a Kia, they got so big, luxury right now. There's so many features they have in them. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever for the Mercedes. The only one, if you wanted to spend some money and you probably didn't work for that money, it's probably like an S-Class. Even the G-Class, it's out of the window right now. It doesn't make any sense. The S-Class, at least they have that appealing and is better option than a Rolls-Royce and a Bentley. It's going to be cheaper and better pretty much. So yeah, those S-Class supposed to be for those people that right now buy in the Rolls-Royce and the Bentley. For the people that buy right now an S-Class, just doesn't make any sense. They're much better cars for half of the price, and it's gonna cost you overall with the maintenance and everything much cheaper, and the luxury is gonna be also there. So yeah, it's a trap set by Europeans, by Europeans manufacturing of cars. Same story with the BMW, and not to mention the Audi. Wow, you can multiply that by 10 with the Audi. Just doesn't make sense. Just stop buying them, in my opinion. It's just, you have already decent domestic cars that they have there, and yeah, we kind of lose that sense of money and the power of the money, and we just buy the luxury thing that we think makes us happier, which pretty soon after we buy it, probably like 3 months, 6 months stop, you're gonna say like, just a car, it just doesn't matter. But you'll be stuck with payments if you finance that car, or probably most likely after the warranty expires, it's gonna make a noise to let you know that the car is out of the warranty. So yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like, we already have decent cars here. Like Toyota and Honda, they are pretty good. but they became very expensive, so I'm not exactly a fan of those anymore either. So yeah, cheap cars that you can replace every 5 years, or they have like a 7 years warranty or something like that, and you replace them after the warranty, and it just be like no problem for you to do that. It's a much better buy, much better buy. So yeah, overall they're doing pretty well here in Delaware, I have to say. It doesn't matter where we're going, people, they're doing pretty well by European standards. They have some rough areas, let's call it like a medium income for Europeans, low income for the Americans. They're doing even they're pretty decent, and they can pull together pretty good and improve it. But overall, look at this, even in the countryside here on the flatlands, looking very nice. I mean, come on, looking great. They're doing well. They're doing well, of course. I mean, like Europeans that leave the continents in a search for a better life, they settle here with, I say 200 years ago, 300 years ago, and they done very well, I will assume. I would say. I mean, look at this. They're doing very well in the way they build things. Unfortunately, the materials, I have a problem with them, but the design it and the overall aesthetic of the neighborhood, they are much better than Europeans. Here, clearly, they lack trees. They need a lot of them. But yeah, they overall, they're doing very well. It's just years beyond Europeans. This one are gonna look much better with more trees, but yeah, once they have that, they're gonna look like a high income area. This one looks like a medium one right now. They're doing well. They're doing well. Yeah, Europeans that left the continent pretty much and in search for a better life. And dare I say, 300 years later, that it is the true. They did find a better life. I mean, they look much better than Europeans. And they have like a first shot of doing the absolutely greatest nation on the planet. For everyone, not just for a few. So pretty soon, like I said, 2050 is going to be a really interesting year. By 2050, it's going to see exactly where we are, even with those AI, with all the things, all the promises, let's call it like that. It would be interesting to see if we're doing very well by 2050. Probably that's it. We improve life so great that, like I say, the food is going to be free, even the housing and cars almost free. Medical care, not even close. I mean, that's gonna be like totally free because they have a lot of production and they produce everything that they need for those facilities to run. So in an extremely cheap way, that price doesn't make any sense. It's just gonna be like a burden, a bureaucracy to charge prices. So they're gonna get rid of that. It will be great. But we will see by 2050. That's gonna be the main one. Okay, food is gonna be probably free. It's gonna make much more sense to at some point. I think somebody tried to put advertisement on the package of the food than actually charging money on the food. You will do much more money with the advertisement than we actually selling the food. So probably they're gonna go for something similar to that. It's gonna be interesting. Yeah, we're gonna have some ads on the package, but who cares that much? It's for free, for God's sake. So yeah, I think somebody tried that with water, and I think they're doing pretty well. It would be interesting to see if like can extend to pretty much everything. That would be really nice. In combination, like I said, with the high production, because that's why it's a scarcity economy right now. But for that, again, I have to tell you, population has to go down. We are a bit too many people, and now we're talking about the Western world. So we can have that right now. That's why I'm saying with the advancement in production by 2050, and probably we're gonna start to see a lowering population across every single country in the Western world. Now we're talking a serious change, and that's gonna be interesting to see. Maybe even our lifetime, for those who can actually make it by 2050, we will see a definitely change. Can you imagine like free food, free water, free medical, free money at some point to have the other stuff, keep it running, like the economy for the housing market and cars for now, and probably by the end of the century, even those will be free to some extent. And again, once we have that, then we have to start the bigger question, which that's gonna be extremely high. Probably like even the elites of this system right now think of that, and that's why they keep it people, let's say, in a impoverishment way, because they know once they give them everything, we're gonna start to asking the big question: why we are here, what we're doing with our lives, all that stuff, and it's not gonna be easy answers. The rich one, they know that, and they struggle with that every day. That's why you see it more suicide in the high income, let's say, areas than the high income people than low income people. For the first time, um, lives makes a bit less sense once you are rich. Once you've done everything every day for the last 30 years, 50 years, it feels probably most likely less purposeless, without purpose, without vision, without clear direction. So you can imagine like everyone have to struggle with this, what the world is gonna look. It's gonna be interesting. That's why probably they try to push that as far as possible, but at some point, like I said, with what we have today, it's just a matter of time, and pretty soon they're gonna have to do some changes because it is what it is. So yeah, overall Delaware, they're doing, oh, they have like a solar here, pretty good. They have pretty good lifestyle, way beyond Europeans one, compared with the third world countries. It's just clearly from different timelines, from different centuries, different millennia. At some point, they're doing very well, and yeah, they have room for improvements. No problem with that. I don't have a complaint with it. This one has to disappear. Just I don't like how they built specifically this one. It looks horrible. Comparing with, let's check something very quick if you can find them. The old ones, maybe this one, but this like look like a farmer here. This one not a best choice, but we see the good ones with trees and much better overall aesthetic. This one probably is like a low income. Yeah, we know what I'm talking about. You already see it. Just I don't think I can find it right now. There are so many of those built right now here. Oh, this one. Yeah, this one much better. Much better, as you can see. Much more trees, much more space. Way better. That's how it's supposed to be. That's supposed to be the minimum. That's nice flex here. What is that? It's July. Probably it's the 4th of July. Trump for president. So those, oh, that's a nice car there. For those ones that support Trump, for some reason they're doing better than the other ones that they support Democrats. I'm wondering if it's actually a link there. People who do better, they tend to vote Republicans. Those who does not, they don't do better, prefer to vote Democrat. And somehow they still remain poor after they vote Democrat. So I guess it's interesting. Yeah, overall they're doing well. Wow, that's a really old area. I mean, before they constructed, can we check them? This is what, 2012? There was pretty much nothing. Can we go for the good old-fashioned one? And this one when they built something in 2024, so like 12 years later. Yeah, they're doing pretty well. Overall, they have, again, some areas that they're doing so well, but overall they're doing well. I want to check this one real quick. I think I see something interesting. Yeah, overall they're doing well. They have an opening to the ocean. They can stay there. They can be nice. They can enjoy the life. They can choose to live in another place if they don't like this one. But have some sort of a park here. They're doing well. They're doing well for sure. This is, I can accept houses that close to each other when we are that close to the ocean, although you are a bit too close to the ocean in the same time. But it's decent. It's fine, I would say. It's acceptable to some level, although they should not be able to build that close to the ocean, but that's a different discussion. Here it's a bit better. See, they have some space, but here it's like pretty much no space whatsoever. Here it's a bit more space, which is good, but I wanted to see more space than this. Yeah, much more space than this. It's too close. So yeah, overall, I think we can end the video right here. We can, make those videos as long as I want, but highly doubt that anyone's gonna check that all the video. Small state on the East Coast, they're doing very well. Small population, a neutral increase, so probably gonna see like, again, they start to go decrease by 2050 for sure. So yeah, overall they're doing pretty decent. It's not that bad, much better than the rest of the world for sure. And comparing with the other state that we see so far, I can honestly don't see that much of the difference. So yeah, probably not the favorite state so far, but they're doing pretty decent overall. If you're living there and you watch this video on YouTube, on the Rumble, depends which platform you find it, leave a comment, say how things are there. Again, I'm going on those maps randomly. Don't choose the good sites, don't choose the bad ones, just the average pretty much. So yeah, check the other videos and see you next time.